Good morning, everyone. Christopher here, and welcome back to another episode of Fossil Forward Finds. We have a What Sold video. This one is from March 8th through March 14th. Not my best week. It's better than before I went full time. Not as good as my February numbers. I don't know if that has anything to do with gas going up a buck a gallon within a week. Maybe, maybe not. But in any case, 28 orders. Total of $415.16 gross. Thankfully, my print on demand on Amazon has been doing well this month. And I obviously have my part-time job as well. But yeah, a nice little mix today for this video. Some Jurassic Park, some photos, obviously a bunch of postcards. I'm not going to highlight these specifically because they show up almost every week, but sold a bunch of the Hindu art postcards again. I got to be getting low on these because I feel like I sell them all the time. But yeah, nice little grouping. So let's get into it. Alrighty, as is tradition, I like to start off with some non-postcard sales first. And this week I am happy to say that we sold some Jurassic Park because, of course, we did. So starting off with some Jurassic Park POGs, this individual bought two. One, we got the Triceratops here, and then Velociraptor here. Both of them were originally priced at $9.99. I believe the buyer saved about 15% by buying them together, which is fine. That's why I have that sale up there to encourage multi-quantity sales. One of the POGs, the Triceratops, did come from the 15,000 POG haul, which is great. One step closer to breaking even on that, and then profit beyond. And then the Raptor, I don't know, I've had that one up for a while now. So nice little sale there, $13.86 after shipping and fees. Now that doesn't seem great, and that's because the buyer actually did purchase one of these as well, which combined with it so that the shipping gets whatever. But in any case, I also sold to that same buyer a Jurassic Park 3 trading card packet. I still have 93 plus available. I think I have like a whole box I haven't even added to the count. So I have a lot of these if you're interested. They're up on eBay as well as Whatnot, I believe on Whatnot, and on my district page. So wherever you like to purchase, I think I have them listed the same price everywhere. So shipping might be a little better on Whatnot, I think. But nice empty pack, or not empty pack, unopened pack. All going to the same place. I think I was out in Washington State, so happy to move these along. I've had these up for a long time, and I think I definitely paid up for them. I think I paid almost $1 each. So I'm not quite yet into the profit or break even on these, but I don't mind. I keep a couple in my own collection. I sent some to some of my nephews. We're big Jurassic Park fans. I just like having them in the store. All right, moving on. Sold a tin type. I don't have a lot of tin types in the store. I recently listed a bunch more because I had them stockpiled, and it is inventory that I'm trying to increase because I do enjoy them, but it's just not my strong suit, and I'm still sorting out pricing. Obviously, I accepted an offer on this one relatively quickly. I listed it March 8th. So I sold it the same week and I accepted an offer of $15 on what I had listed at $23. You know, sometimes you're just happy to get a sale. As you saw, it's not my best week. So sometimes you just need to jumpstart those sales and accept some offers. And again, $15 is not bad. This has been sitting in my back stock a while. I probably only paid a couple bucks for it. I don't usually pay too much for these unless it's really a compelling subject. But you know, this one's just a handsome chap. You can see a little bit of the hand tinting on the cheeks there, a little bit of the rose color. Got a nice old hat there, 3-piece suit. A little trim in the corner from where it was probably in an album, but otherwise, not too shabby. All right, this was a nice sale. This came from Backstock as well. So it was a small photo, 3 by 4.5, as you can see there. I listed it in February, so not up too long. But it shows some camouflage, or what is supposed to be camouflaged Japanese Zero aircraft hangars from World War II. And that's based on the handwritten caption in the back. So I'm trusting the writing on the back, and the individual who purchased is obviously trusting it as well. This went off to Australia, which was kind of cool. So not quite close, not quite back to home, but on its way. But you can see the hangars there. So cool little photograph. I obviously like the military stuff, specifically World War II. So I'm always happy to have these in the collection and see them go to someone else. I am having trouble talking this morning. I was up last night brainstorming video ideas. I got a little excited. So a little lacking on the sleep, but it's for your benefit somewhere down the future. Yeah, okay. This was another photo that I sold this week, or that week, whatever week it was. This was actually free to me from one of my D&D friends. The funny thing is, we were discussing at work the other day the business, because he often asks how the business is doing. And he's like, did you ever do anything with those photos I gave you? And I couldn't remember exactly which ones they were. And he mentioned, there was like one with a bat. I was like, I saw that one yesterday. So this was that photo. Really cool. I can't imagine how you time this well or time this right, but you got a bat flying in front of the moon there. Spanish moss hanging down from the top. It's been listed for a little while. Since October 2024. So I had listed it with Halloween in mind that year. So, but it took a year and a half. But happy it finally sold. Sold for the full asking of $14.99, which for a free to me item, can't complain. And there were some other items they gave me as well, some other portrait photos, I think, that are also listed. But this adds as a nice segue into the postcards, because I did sell actual Batman, postcard of Gotham City. This one I got from Dave F. Brother for about 40 cents on Whatnot. This one sold on offer for $8.50. There's the back there. I do have other Batman Gotham City related postcards available if that is something of interest to you. All right, moving right along. All right, this was a nice multi-quantity order, bunch of horse postcards. I have to admit I'm grateful to this buyer, because they had purchased a couple horse postcards from me in January or February. I forget exactly which it was. It was whenever we had one of those really big storms that like blanketed the entire country. I had a lot of orders from that week that ended up getting lost by the Postal Service. No tracking, nothing, just gone, poof. Including 2 postcards to this individual. And this individual has bought a bunch of stuff from me in the past, mostly German Shepherd stuff in the past, but clearly they're a horse fan as well. And, I refunded them for the horses with my apologies. And they came back within a week or two of that refund and purchased 5 or 6 more. So, and left really nice feedback about the shipping quality and all that stuff. So, it's nice when you have those repeat buyers. It can be underrated sometimes. And yeah, these are all small postcards, but they add up. They've been listed a while. You can see the SKU numbers on some of these, 1,000, 1,000, and we're in 1,000 again. So I'm on SKU, I'm almost at SKU 25,000. So they've been up a while. But yeah, these little sales add up. Bought together, I think she saved 20% because she bought more than 2. $18.41 is my take home after shipping and fees. Not too bad at all. I paid 12 cents a card for most of these, if not all of these. So, and I'm sure she'll be back for more horses or doggos. All right, this one I like. I'm honestly surprised this is the first one of these to sell. This is feather folk art. So these are dyed feathers. At least I'm assuming they're dyed and not natural colors, but they are actual feathers that are then applied to like this watercolor background to make some bird art. And I have a whole bunch of these. They were made in Mexico. They came from the Albany album series. Album 1 is where you'll see the most of them. If you haven't watched that video, I do recommend you going back and doing so. But I think these are really gorgeous. I did save one for my personal collection. But this one sold for full asking of $12.99. This one does have a little message on the back, which you can pause and read if you like. I'm not going to do so here. But nice little sale. I think this is around where I priced most of them. I may have priced a few a little bit higher if I thought they were nicer. But yeah, go check them out. I think they're a really cool piece. I think part of the reason why they're sitting is they're maybe not overly uncommon. I think it was maybe a common tourist art piece, so they're not necessarily rare, but they're scarce enough that they're of interest. And that's my brother texting me. Mute him for a second. All right, and then we'll finish off with a couple real photo postcards because obviously that's my jam lately. Though we've only sold a few this week. This first one sold for $20 on offer. I got it in the Dater Cottage haul from September, so if you haven't seen that video, I do recommend you checking that out. But this was cool. I paid about $1.50 for it, and it shows this woman on horseback in front of Balance Rock in Garden of the Gods, Colorado. I've been to the Garden of the Gods. It's a great location. If you are in Colorado Springs area, Colorado, I do recommend spending a few hours there, especially if you like rocks like me. But it was a great card. It's got some writing on the back, a little bit of story. You can see the studio mark here on the back, unstamped, but that allows us to get an age date on it. And yeah, just a nice little card. Happy to turn $1.50 into $20. Buyer did pay shipping on this one because it was originally priced above eBay standard envelope pricing. And then the last one sold for $17.99 on offer. Went out to California. Got this off eBay. Paid about 95 cents per card in the lot that this came from. And it shows two young women holding hands in the studio portrait. I framed it as lesbian interest. They could be sisters, family, cousins, friends. I don't know. But part of these postcards, a lot of times, especially with the real photos, is you're painting a story. Obviously, it has to be a reasonable, believable story. But you're painting a story nonetheless, unless you have writing on the back that explains it for you, which this one, as you can see, does not. But in any case, I thought it was a nice postcard. It definitely has some condition issues, but it was an interesting subject matter. Big old hair bows as well. Them standing with their backs towards us and turning around is not something you see too often, so it just had some good character to it. So I listed this one in December of 2025, so it was up for a couple months, and pretty happy with that sale. So that's my sales for this week. After this, I'm going to film the next What Sold video, so I'll be all caught up. That one will come out on Wednesday of this week. And we will catch you, well, I guess in that video. Peace.